Hello students, in the last class we have studied some new concepts and definitions about this paper topology. Those include mainly the finite complement topology, the finer topology, strictly finer topology, coarser topology, strictly coarser topology, and comparable topology. Also we have studied some examples to clarify those concepts and definitions. Now from the today's class we are going to start the next article from this paper. It is the basis for a topology, and in particular in today's class we are going to study some definitions such as basis for a topology, then topology generated by the basis, and some examples based on those definitions to clarify the concept, as well as some results we are going to study. So let us begin with the definition of basis for a topology. So the definition of the basis is, if X is a set, then a basis for a topology on X is a collection script B of subsets of X called basis elements such that they satisfy two conditions. The first condition is that for each X belongs to X, there is at least one basis element B containing X, and the second condition is that if X belongs to the intersection of two basis elements B1 and B2, then there is a basis element B3 containing X such that B3 is contained in B1 intersection B2. Like such, we have defined the basis for a topology on X. Okay, I will repeat this once again. Let us suppose that X is some set and there is some topology defined on X. Then if we consider a collection of subsets of X, let us denote that collection by the script B. Then this collection script B of subsets of X is said to be a basis for a topology on X if that collection satisfies two conditions. First condition is that if we take any member from the set X, then there must be at least one basis element in the set script B. Okay, elements of the collection script B are called the basis elements. So, if X is any member from the set X, then there is at least one basis element, means a member in the collection script B which contains X, which means that there should not be any member in capital X which is not covered in any of the basis elements. So, each and every member of the set capital X must be member of at least one basis element. This is the first condition. And the second condition is that if X belongs to the intersection of two basis elements B1 and B2, then there is a basis element B3 containing X such that B3 is contained in B1 intersection B2. Means if X is common in two basis elements B1 and B2, then there must be a member B3 which contains X and is contained in B1 intersection B2. This is the second condition, and a collection which satisfies these two conditions is called as a basis for the topology on X, and the members of that basis are called the basis elements. This is the definition of the basis for a topology on X. Next one, if script B is a collection of subsets of X which satisfies these two conditions, then we will define the topology tau generated by script B as a subset U of X is said to be open in X, that is, to be an element of tau, as we know that elements of the topology on X are called the open subsets of X. So, a subset U of X is said to be open in X if for each X belongs to U, there is a basis element B belongs to the script B such that X belongs to B and B is contained in U. So, how we are defining the topology generated by the basis script B? A subset U of X is said to be open in X, means the member of the tau, if for each X belongs to U, there is a basis element B belongs to the collection script B such that that basis element B must contain X and that B must be contained in the open set U. Next, as each basis element means element of collection script B. So each basis element is an element of tau. Therefore, this means that the collection script B is a subset of tau. So, if tau is the topology generated by the basis script B, then definitely script B is a subset of tau. Next one is the example. Now, let us consider one example. Let script B be the collection of all circular regions. Circular regions means interiors of circles in the plane. Then script B satisfies both conditions for a basis. So here, if we consider any circular region, how we are considering script B? Script B is the collection of all circular regions, means the interior of circles. So if we consider any circle, as we will consider here, I will draw. Script B is the collection of all circular regions. Suppose this is one circular region, this is the another circular region, this one is some another circular region, and so on, and script B is collection of all such circular regions. Let this is B1, this is B2, this one is suppose B3, this is B4, and so on. There can be any number of members in the script B. So, as script B is the collection of all circular regions, so if small x is a member of capital X, then definitely there will be at least one circular region which covers that element X. So first condition is illustrated, means shown by means of drawing a diagram which I have drawn here. Okay. So X can be a member of X. Small x can be, here small x can be a member of any one of the set. It can be a member of B1, it can be a member of B2 or anyone. So like such. Next one. Now the second condition is shown here by means of drawing this diagram. So let X is here, small x is this one member. So if X is a member which lies in both B1 as well as B2, means X is in the intersection of B1 and B2, then obviously we can consider another circle B3 which contains X and is contained in B1 and B2 as it is shown here. Okay. So therefore the script B, which is the collection of all circular regions, is definitely a basis for the topology on X. And in the topology generated by script B, a subset U of the plane is open if every X in U lies in some circular region contained in U. So like such we have the first example. Consider the second example. Let script B dash be the collection of all rectangular regions, means the interiors of rectangles in the plane where the rectangles have sides parallel to the coordinate axis. So all those rectangles we are considering as a member of script B dash such that the rectangles have their sides parallel to the coordinate axis. Then clearly script B dash satisfies both conditions for a basis, and we'll check both those conditions. See here, if X is any point in the plane, then obviously we can draw a rectangle whose sides are parallel to the coordinate axis in such a way that it covers that point X as it is shown here. So which means that first condition is verified, which means if we take small x as any one point from the capital X set, then there exists always a member, means a rectangle whose sides are parallel to the coordinate axis, member of script B dash. Then there exists a member of script B dash which is a rectangle that covers X and whose sides are parallel to the coordinate axis. This verifies the first condition, and the second condition is verified by means of drawing this diagram. Consider here, suppose B1 dash and B2 dash are the members of the script B dash, and suppose that X is a point which is present in both of them, means X belongs to the B1 dash intersection B2 dash. Then clearly there is a member B3 of script B dash which contains X and is contained in B1 dash intersection B2 dash, and that member is shown here, which I am going to highlight here. Okay, that member B3 dash which contains X and is contained in B1 dash intersection B2 dash is shown by means of rectangle whose sides are shown by the red colored lines. This is our B3 dash, which contains X and is contained in B1 dash intersection B2 dash. Therefore, both the conditions required for becoming a basis are satisfied here. Therefore, this collection script B dash is also a basis for a topology on X. Next, example third. If X is any set, then the collection of all one-point subsets of X is a basis for the discrete topology on X. We'll check that this is a basis for a discrete topology on X. So the solution is, check that the collection tau generated by the basis script B is a topology on X. So if U is the empty set, then obviously it satisfies both the conditions, as we know that empty set is an open set. Next one. Again, X is also in tau, because if we take small x as any one point from the set capital X, then there is some basis element capital B which contains X and is contained in capital X. So, which means that the empty set and the complete set X both are contained in tau. Next one. Now let us consider an indexed family U alpha, where alpha belongs to the index set J of elements of tau. Then we have to show that union of this indexed family is again a member of the tau. So, let U equal to the union of U alpha over alpha belongs to the index set J. Then we have to show that U belongs to tau. For that purpose, consider that small x is an element of the U. If small x is an element of U, then definitely there is some one index alpha such that x belongs to U alpha, which means that x may be a member of U1, or x may be a member of U2, or x may be a member of U3, and so on. Next, as each U alpha is open, therefore there is a basis B such that x belongs to B and B is contained in U alpha. Then x belongs to B and B is contained in U. Therefore, U is open, and this means that the second condition holds. Now we'll check the third condition. In the third condition, we have to show that intersection of finite number of elements of tau is again a member of tau. So for that purpose, we'll consider two members of tau. So let U1 and U2 are two members of tau. Then we have to show that U1 intersection U2 also belongs to tau. For that purpose, let small x belongs to the intersection of U1 and U2, means x belongs to U1 intersection U2. Then we choose a basis element B1 which contains x such that B1 is contained in U1, and we choose a basis element B2 which contains x such that B2 is contained in U2. Such B1 and B2 exist by the definition of basis for a topology. Then by the second condition for a basis, there exists B3 which contains x such that B3 is contained in B1 intersection B2. Therefore, there exists B3 which contains x and it is contained in U1 intersection U2. Therefore, U1 intersection U2 also belongs to tau, which means that intersection of finite number of members of tau is again in tau, and therefore tau is a topology on X. And here the third condition is shown by means of drawing a diagram here. See here, this is U1. Okay, U1 is this set, and this is U2. U2 is this set, and there is some member X which belongs to the U1 intersection U2. That member X is here. Okay, this is our X. Next one. Now, by the definition of basis, as script B is a basis for the topology on X, therefore there exists element B1 which contains X and is contained in U1, and that B1 is shown by this circle here. Okay, and similarly there exists a basis element B2 which contains X and is contained in U2, and that B2 basis element is shown by the another circle. And definitely by the definition of the basis, there exists the basis B3 which contains X and is contained in B1 intersection B2, and that B3 is here, and you can observe that this B3 is contained in B1 intersection B2. So like such we have shown that tau is a topology on X. Now next one, we will prove a lemma. Lemma is, let X be a set and script B be a basis for a topology tau on X. Then tau equals the collection of all unions of elements of script B. I will repeat, let X be a set and script B be a basis for a topology tau on X. Then tau equals the collection of all unions of elements of script B. We will prove this lemma. So, let X be a set and script B be a basis for a topology tau on X. Then, given a collection of elements of script B, they are also elements of tau, as we have discussed earlier that script B is a subset of tau. So next, now as tau is a topology, therefore by the definition of the topology, their unions is again in tau, which means that if we take any number of members from the script B, then they are the members of tau, and as they are members of the tau, therefore by the second condition for becoming a topology, their union is again in tau. So this shows the first way implication. Now the second implication means converse. Conversely, if U is a member of tau, means if U is a open set in X, then for each X belongs to U, we choose a basis element Bx of the collection script B. Collection script B means basis script B, such that that basis element Bx contains X and is contained in U, and then U can be visualized as union of all such basis elements Bx. That is, U is equal to the union of Bx where X belongs to the U, and therefore U is equal to the union of elements of script B. Like such we have proved this lemma. Now next one result is this lemma. Let X be a topological space. Suppose that script C is a collection of open sets of X, such that for each open set U of X and each X in X and each X and each point X in U, there is an element capital C of the collection script C, such that X belongs to C and C is contained in U. Then the collection script C is a basis for the topology of X. We will prove this lemma also. So to prove this lemma, we have to show that script B is a basis. So first of all, we will show the first condition. To show that script C is a basis, the first condition is very easy to establish. Let X be a member of the capital X. Then, as capital X itself is an open set, then by the hypothesis, there exists an element capital C in the collection script C, such that the element capital C contains the point small x and is contained in capital X. Next one, now we'll check the second condition. Let small x belongs to the intersection of C1 and C2, where C1 and C2 are elements of the collection script C. Then, as C1 and C2 are the members of script C, therefore they both are open. And we know that the intersection of the finite number of open sets is open. Therefore, C1 intersection C2 is also open. And therefore, by our hypothesis, there exists an element C3 in the collection script C. It contains the point small x and is contained in C1 intersection C2. Next, let tau be the collection of open sets of X. Then we have to show that if tau dash is a topology generated by the collection script C, then tau is equal to tau dash. We observe that if U belongs to tau and if small x belongs to U, then there is by hypothesis an element capital C of script C, such that the point X belongs to the set capital C, which is contained in the set U. So therefore, U belongs to the topology tau dash, and therefore by the definition, U belongs to the topology tau dash. Next one, conversely, if W belongs to the topology tau dash, then by the lemma which we have proved just before some time, by that lemma, then W is equal to union of elements of script C. Next, now as each element of script C belong to tau and Tau is a topology. Therefore, W also belongs to tau. And this means that the topologies tau and tau dash are the same. So likewise, we have proved this lemma also. So today we will stop here and we will continue in the next class. Thank you.